Kemp Town, I should say, like specifics, and working on a television series about a future where plastic is banned. The only humour you can produce is you can only make fun of robots. So it's a kind of comment on the what do they call this? This snowflake generation. But I have been involved in other projects.
Okay, yeah.
I also have a comedy album called Radio 4 Play, which is a satire of Radio 4.
Yeah,
We've been working with Simon Moorhead, who is producing a series called The Other 1%, which is kind of paranormal monologue.
Got a good Arsene Wenger, I think.
So, what's your name, sir?
My name is Robert Cohen.
Excellent. And what do you do, Robert?
I am a writer and an actor, primarily.
I got an invitation and thought, well, I'd just been to the Back to Focus event, which was brilliant.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, actually connecting with local people is going to be a real advantage.
Because you've worked on feature films locally.
So yes, I worked on a feature film back in, well, we filmed 2013. It was released in 2015, we took it to Cannes in 2014.
And that movie's called?
A Dark Reflection.
A Dark Reflection.
And then I've just directed my first feature documentary.
Wow.
Which is called Lucy Breaking the Silence.
Oh wow! And can you tell us a bit about it?
So yeah, it follows a very tragic story about a young woman who was based in Surrey who sadly took her own life.
Right.
And it explores the whole kind of young suicide, mental health, particularly around the young people.
Yeah.
But we filmed people like Clark Carlisle, who's an under-21 footballer, professional footballer, who's, was all in the national news. I don't know if you saw, look for him on Twitter. So we interviewed him to really see, well, actually what goes on in the mind of somebody who's sort of reached that desperate point to say, I don't want to live anymore. And really sort of getting people to talk.
Exactly. It's just a passion project by the sounds of it.
So yes, I've taught as well with young people, 16 to 19.
Yeah.
So yeah, very passionate that age group. And I think filmmaking and doing, creative stuff. I've got a very creative background, is what I like.
And how far have you got with the project now? Is it completed?
So it's completed. It was completed. It's been going to small film festivals around. So we just won some awards, which is very exciting.
Fantastic.
We took it to the House of Commons a few weeks ago, which again was very exciting.
Yeah. And the name of the movie again?
Lucy Breaking the Silence.
Wonderful. We'll keep our eyes out for it.
Take home tonight. I've got to take it on a train back to Eastbourne tonight.
And of course you're here with some more colleagues on another production.
Howard Ford. Howard, join me. Howard.
I'm joining the both of them. It's not often you get two in the same room. This is quite an experience.
My director, Howard Ford's Adventure Boys. Tell us about Adventure Boys.
This is our villain, the boss, who is he's stolen diamonds from Lady Hurst of Hurst Monsoon Castle. And actually, Adventure Boys it's a family adventure movie.
Yes.
It stars my own kids, but fine actors from big movies, and in fact a cast from spanning London, all around Sussex, Brighton, Eastbourne. We shot most of the movie
locally.
We did.
And we interviewed Sarah. Lovely Sarah.
Oh, great. Howard's a very smart director. How do you get John Campling on board? Well, film it 5 minutes from where he lives.
Exactly.
That will help.
That was the closest. I think literally with the location, the main location you were in. It took you about 5 minutes.
I literally walked 5 minutes from my house to the location. Yeah. And it was just a little gift from Howard to me, just to make it.
And what about your children? Do they take direction well? Do they listen to Dad?
Sometimes.
The thing is, when you do working with your kids, they don't.
Your dad,
just
right?
dad, aren't you?
Director.
In fact, I ended up acting in the film. I only meant to give myself a little bit part, but I
yeah.
rather carved out a bit of a chunky part.
America and Amazon, and tonight, as of tonight, in France, Amazon France. So,
that's amazing.
Let's see, I don't know.
And,
the answer is in the revenue.
And plans for 2019?
Plans for 2019 to produce 2 films made in New Haven, shot in New Haven, where possible, with New Haven people. So this one was made with 155 people, 153 of them were New Haven based.
Okay.
So it was a community-made TV, and we think we got something special there.
Excellent
I heard about tonight through Kelly McCullough and obviously the Sussex Filmmakers. I'm a local writer director, and it's always good to have a chance to meet other local filmmakers and
and crew members and all that. So,
And have you had a good 2018 so far?
It's been up and down, like it is for most filmmakers, I guess, at the moment. But yeah,
any
not
interesting
bad.
projects, or what have you been working on?
I've just had a feature film that I wrote and co-created called Boogeyman. That was produced actually last year. Should be coming out next year. Just won Best Film at Cardiff International Film Festival. A short film I just made called Burned, which has got into a few festivals. And I'm preparing my first feature as writer-director for next year.
13 Graves tells the story of two hitmen, Frank and Terry, who are dragging their latest victim to the mob graveyard they used for several years, hence 13 Graves. On the way back, they are haunted, they're chased through the forest by a terrifying supernatural force, which is, without spoiler, is the ghosts of all their former victims. And there's lots of convoluted twists and turns of the story, but there's a sort of twist at the end.
And how did this project come to your attention?
Oh, I wrote it.
Oh, you wrote it?
Yeah, I wrote and directed it. After getting several projects, trying to get several projects made, we just stuck a pin in a diary, in a calendar, and we were going to film then.
And went for it.
Wrote the script. I think I went around. The idea was germinating for a few years. Hitmen in a wood, and kind of hitmen in suits in a wood.
Right.
There's a reference to the fact that one of the characters says, "Why are we in suits?" Because they just want these lovely pristine suits that they enter the forest in, and by the time they get out, they're completely caked in it. And I think it was kind of the image of that shovel, a bag, and some hitmen going into the woods. And there's that's the clash of cultures between these hitmen and what they meet in the woods, which is like a real sort of folk horror, sort of denizens of the woods. The lead of that was played by local actor Greg Draven. He's based in Eastbourne. Huge, great bloke with a massive beard and hair, and he's kind of the nemesis to them. Used quite a lot of local actors. Justin Hayward, who I think you've already spoken to. Jay Proctor, who worked with Howard on Adventure Boys, Howard Ford on Adventure Boys. She was our set designer, because there was lots of occult. They keep coming across occult stuff, and she dressed this forest just to look like the worst place you'd want to be, with offal and wings of dead birds and dead foxes and stuff that she found. So, which we had to take down after we shot it, because it was actually being used at the time by the local scout group. So it was like, by day it was like a scouts in the woods, whittling sticks. By night it became this horrific occult. And we got sort of scenario. We got lots of local extras who played these sort of woodland banshees, who were just basically in loincloths, not a lot else. We used a local company called the Pentacle Drummers, who did all this heavy sort of occult drumming and a huge bonfire going, and it sort of turned into this. So these gangsters start off being like in charge, and then they find themselves running for their lives from this sort of occult group of people, denizens of the woods, if you like.
I'm a voice actor from Brighton. Doing a lot of exciting adverts as well as some not so exciting adverts, and I know Kelly as well. I've done a few jobs as an extra for her over the years.
And how long have you been a voice artist for?
Well, I've done on and off since I was a kid. I was doing impressions. And doing a lot of stand-up impersonations. Okay.
I suppose you're quite well known in the local area then, if you've done stand-up and...
Yes, everyone harasses me for certain impressions.
I bet.
And I'll have to do one now for you.
Well, I don't know, what's your personal favourite?
Well, the personal favourite, the crowd pleaser, is always Stephen Hawkins.
Ah, excellent.
So I should do that for you now.
Please do.
Ever since I was a child, I have always wondered about the mysteries of the universe. I realise how much these meet and greets mean to me now.
So I'm in post-production. I work in CGI and VFX.
Oh wow! Yeah. What programs do you normally use?
Cinema 4D, Premiere, DaVinci, Fusion, Nuke.
Oh wow, across the board.
After Effects, depends what you're doing.
Have you always been in touch with doing computer graphics? Have you, like these programs, have you kept up with them from when they first started?
I have always dabbled in them. Only the last kind of 2-3 years I've really properly delved deeper. Before that I sold Windows.
Black Mirror
style commentary on the UK.
Yeah.
And it's called the Z.app.
Right.
And it's based in the City of London.
Okay. And hopefully might get some rumblings about this project in the near future.
Fingers crossed.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.